Hey people, this is like my industrial piercing update, and let you know how it's going. You can see my new septum piercing. It's too big, yes I know that, if you haven't seen my other one. I'm going to downsize it next week. It's far too big, and the piercings and stuff. There's a story about that in my other video about the septum piercing, so check that out if you want to know about it. And I can do a separate video and answer your questions and that. Yep, so I'm in my pyjamas, by the way. I'm not like weird or anything. That's it. The swelling's gone down quite a lot. You can touch it a bit more. From up and down the bar. Still perhaps a little bit swollen because it's sore, but when I touch it, it's so itchy. It stopped bleeding. That it bled a little bit like 2 days ago, but it's alright now. It's obviously strained against the bar. When I do that, it's so itchy, it just makes me want to scratch it. Scratching it a little bit isn't going to do it any harm, as long as you don't scratch around the holes, because they're like could get infected or irritated. It's calmed down quite a lot. You can see it's not red or anything. It's particularly itchy in there, and up here. Oh my god, it's such a horrible itch, and you keep scratching it, and you pull your finger away, and it hasn't fully scratched it, and it's so annoying. But it looks quite good at the moment. I can actually lie on that side as long as I've got my arm like that, so it's not touching it. If I'm lying with it flat down pressing on it, it gets a little bit sore, particularly this back one, because it's hanging out a bit, and it's still been done a week ago. Well, it's Wednesday now, because it's 12:43 in the morning. So it's been done about, well, let's just say 7 days, because it's coming up for 8 days now, so it's been done a week. It's quite happy in there, it seems alright, it seems to be settling down a bit. It was a bit unsettled, but it's going through its itchy stage at the moment. People say they get a lot of pus and that, and they get really wet and that, but mine hasn't really done that, to be honest. It just bled every so often, and it itches so bad, but itching's fine. It's a sign of it's healing. A little bit of blood sometimes is a sign it's healing, because it's settling in. It'll be moving about a little bit. Obviously any hairs or anything catching on it's going to make it sore. There's not really that much to say about it, apart from it's healing up quite well. I can have my hair hanging over it, can my hair touching my hair, wrapping around it and tugging on it, it's going to make it a little bit sore, but it doesn't seem too fussed by that. But I think the best way to like fix a piercing is to ignore it. Don't acknowledge it's there. If it stops hurting and that, try not to touch it unless you absolutely have to. So I'm thinking about this too much and it's making it itchy. But if you don't think about it, it's not there, and your body forgets about it. It just doesn't want it. It just forgets that it's there, and it lets it heal up. Obviously, if you keep playing with it and touching it and constantly at it, staring at it, trying to clean it and things, it's gonna it's more like to become sore, migrate, infect, whatever. It's best to just leave it alone as much as you can. Obviously be careful of it and clean it, and you can touch it a little bit. Some of them you can touch and play with a little bit, and that won't do them any harm. But obviously wash your hands, hand wash, hand gel. Some people like to use gloves, but I think that's a bit extreme unless you have got really dirty hands, or you just want to be overly safe about it. They're a little bit tougher than people make out, so yeah. I was putting TCP on it, but I've stopped doing that now. I just use a little bit of my metamorphosis on it, but I don't really mess about with it much. A little bit of warm water, but I haven't really been cleaning it that much. I don't like to clean, because I have such sensitive skin, I don't like to overly clean them, purely because it irritates my skin and it makes the piercings irritated and sore. That's why I find it better if I just leave them alone. Yeah, let them settle. You just gotta let it settle in until it's comfortable enough to touch it and that. And obviously I'm not going to change it for a good few months and leave it well alone, because cartilage is very, very difficult to heal. My first one, this one you can see, there's one below it, there's this one, and there's this one, the big sparkly one, took 2 years to fully heal. And this one I've had in for about 8 weeks, this little second one here, and it's healing up pretty fine. It gets a bit sore, a bit swollen, but they all cartilage swell up and down whenever they feel like it, over time anyway. And they all, well, even if they're fully healed, they do swell up and down a little bit sometimes. That's normal. I'm expecting that with the industrial, it will do that. But there's not much you can do about it. You can't stop your body from swelling it up. The only thing you can actually do is don't take aspirin, paracetamol, whatever, because that thins your blood and it makes it swell more, and it will obviously make it worse by doing that. The best thing to do is just to clean it a little bit and leave it alone. Don't touch it. You can obviously show it off to your friends, put your hair up, have it down, whatever. Show it off, let them look at it, but don't let other people touch it, because you don't know what's on their hands, and the grease that comes out of their fingers naturally anyway isn't going to be overly clean. But if your ear gets, because sometimes your ear gets very moist and a little bit oily, that's fine as well. Your body's oils won't hurt it. It's producing them around it to protect it. It's not going to be fussed about that. It's a lot more comfortable. I don't sit and get any aches or pains in it, I just get it a bit itchy. Sometimes this little back one gets a bit sore, but that's when it gets caught, I get really itchy. I hate this phase of it when they get so itchy and you just want to keep scratching, but you know you can't. Obviously scratching a bit isn't going to hurt it, but if you keep excessive clawing at it, it's going to upset it. I'll just take the top off this thing and just clean it a little bit. There's the first one. I'll hold it in there and I'll drizzle it down. You probably can't see it dripping down my hand. There you can see it dripping down my thumb a bit. Right at the top here. And down here onto the back of it. There we go. That's literally all I do. Drizzle a little bit onto it. Don't wipe it, don't touch it. I obviously put warm water on it and that when I shower and stuff. Or just sometimes just give it a little wipe. That's more than it needs. It doesn't need to be messed about, because often if you put these things on it, it will upset it more. It will aggravate it. A lot of things, because they're obviously not natural. They're not like water. Everybody has water, your body knows it. If you suddenly start putting chemicals and that on it, it's not a good idea. Oh, and another thing I didn't mention about the septum piercing is do not clean it with TCP. Now, if you've got a normal nose stud and that, you shouldn't really clean that with TCP either, but if you put the TCP inside your nose, that's going to get you high. So I don't think that's a good idea. And it's going to burn your nose and your throat, and you won't be able to get rid of the smell. When I cleaned my industrial last week with the TCP, I keep smelling it everywhere, and I don't know where it's coming from. I've scrubbed my hair, I've scrubbed my ear, I've scrubbed my skin, all my clothes. I can't figure out. I've showered like every day since, and like usual, and I just like can't figure out where the smell's coming from. So it's difficult to get rid of the smell, and it's really horrible. It's really strong stuff, so you're better off just leaving it alone. Obviously you can use it on things like an industrial, but in a limited amount, because it will smell bad. It might make it irritating, but it's safe to use. Don't use any creams, any Savlon cream in a tube. If it's a spray, it's alright. if it's a liquid like that, whatever, it's alright. Just don't use anything that's like a cream, because that will clog it up and that will infect it, and that could make it migrate or reject, and you don't want that to happen, because that will be very painful and you'll be very upset when you lose your piercing or end up down the hospital. So anyway, that's enough about the industrial. It is settling in quite fine. I'll have to update it again in a week and show you what it's like 2 weeks after piercing. It seems quite happy at the moment. You can see the swelling's gone down a bit. It's settling down. I'm quite happy with it. Anyway, that's enough for now. Bye.